Hi, everyone. Today we are going to do a little something different. We're going to try to go through a summons and a petition for dissolution of marriage and kind of talk about what is normal, what to expect, and what you might get if you happen to be sitting at home one day or you're at work and all of a sudden you get served with divorce papers. You know, the thing about getting served is even when you know it's coming, it's very unsettling to have someone knock on your door and hand you legal papers, okay? So this is exactly what they're talking about when they say they're going to serve you with papers. It's not the agreement. This is the initial petition for dissolution of marriage and the summons that you get back with that. A process server sends it, and sometimes lawyers accept service on behalf of their clients. But essentially, this is what they mean, and this starts the lawsuit of your divorce. Okay, you're gonna have to bear with me because it's been a long week, and I'm on 3s reading glasses today, so I am tired. So bear with me, and we're gonna see what we can do with this new way. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, and when I share my screen with you, it should pop up the summons. All right, here we go. We're gonna make this big. Okay, this is a summons. Okay, this is a recent summons. It was filed in Santa Rosa County. I've redacted all of the information that would identify whose this was. But here, where I'm circling on the screen, you're gonna see where it was served and by whom. That's your process server, and they have to mark exactly what time and what day, because that's what triggers your 20 calendar days. You see that right here, to respond, okay? This is your notice that you have to respond to a lawsuit, a divorce lawsuit or a family law lawsuit, and you have 20 days to do it. All right. Along with your summons, you're going to get this. This is the family law standing pretrial order. This is the one that is entered when there are children involved. If there are not children involved, yours will look slightly different. But this is basically the rules of your divorce case. If you and your spouse cannot agree on what to do with your kids or with your stuff or when to exchange time, this is what the court says. This is what you are to follow. These are your rules until the order is changed. See, it says order. Pleadings in lawsuits are every piece of paper filed other than discovery. When you file motions or petitions, think of them like letters to Santa Claus. But when you see the words order, that is like Santa Claus laying out what you got on Christmas morning. These you have to follow. These are the rules that the judge sets out. So this is the order. This is a very recent one. So again, good example of what this is going to look like if you have a family law case with children. All right, this is issued in every case. Next page, if you have children, you're probably going to get this order. This is your order to attend a parenting class. All right, and here's a big long list of those parenting classes. These parenting classes are not all the same. Some of them are wonderful. Some of them are less wonderful. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are less expensive. So do a little research and see which one you can get for the cheapest and maybe the most most quick, or maybe even you're really looking to learn something and you want to dig through and see which one is going to help you learn the most. But this comes with every new family law case, right? Nothing to be worried about. This is very standard. I think that's the only page. I'm going to stop the share real quick and we're going to go on to the meat of this. Okay. So we're going to go to share screen again, and you are going to see the petition for dissolution of marriage. See if that works. Okay, let's make it big. All right, here is a redacted petition for dissolution of marriage. I picked this one because it has a lot of counts, and we're going to kind of go through them just so that you know what's normal and what might not be normal. All right, this is a very normal, very standard petition for dissolution of marriage. It's going to say when you guys got married, It's going to say where you've been living. It's going to say that you were married on whatever day. Some of these are going to look different depending on the lawyer that drafted them. Ours look a little bit different. This is opposing counsel that has filed this one in this particular case. It's going to tell you how long that you lived together when you separated. That may or may not be relevant in your case. The grounds in Florida, there are only a few grounds that you can have, and 99.9% of them are going to be irretrievably broken. The only other grounds is if there's a mental issue, and that has a lot of has a waiting period of time. It's just you don't see it very often. So this is going to be normal. You're going to have this little paragraph about military status. It's required, and all it is a statement of whether or not you're in the military, your spouse is in the military. And if you are in the military, you are well aware of what the Service Member Civil Relief Act is. And you'll know, or if you don't, let us know. Here's the child. In this one, there's one child. It would have your name and a birthday. It might go into where the child is being cared by, what parent, where the child is. So these are all very normal things. Most of the time, the present care of the child is either going to be shared, or it's going to say, my mom's been living in this place and dad has been living elsewhere. It might say that. It might say that the parties have been rotating on a 50-50 basis, or it might say that the parties are doing something else. So this would be a little bit more fact specific, but 8, 9, and 10 of this are boilerplate language, essentially. Supportive child is always going to be in there, actually required. Equitable distribution. This means we have some stuff, and this stuff needs dividing, and the court should divide it if we can't agree. Very normal to see this, to see personal property, debt. There could be something about an unequal distribution if that were the case, not in this particular example. This with the health insurance and other insurances, very, very standard. Almost every petition for dissolution of marriage is either going to say, is going to say that the other party has insurance available, okay? So if you are the wife and you got this, it would say almost identical to this. If you are the husband and you got this, it would say husband has a health, blah, 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 okay? Normal. Life insurance, people get really worried about this. Life insurance has to be pled. It is available to secure obligations such as alimony or child support, and you have to put it in your pleading if you even want to think about it. Okay, now this particular provision is a little bit different than the way we write it. But if you don't have health insurance, life insurance, and you got this petition, and you're like, wait, I don't even have life insurance. I can't afford life insurance. Okay, well, that's what we'll say in our answer. Again, nothing to be worried about. Whoo-wee, this one is the doozy. Attorneys, fees, and costs. In this one, husband is employed so-and-so attorney to represent him in this action, and he's unable to pay his fees. The other side is going to be able to do it. This language is standard in every petition for dissolution of marriage, whether or not you actually have the money to pay it or you don't. This is a catch-all, a cover our ass kind of a phrase that we have to put in there. It allows us to obtain fees in the event that something happens down the road, but this has to be in there. And so do not worry that that's really what they mean, because if you make minimum wage and your husband is saying, he wants you to pay his attorney's fees, just remember this is CYA. In this particular divorce, they have a marital home, and they want the court to divide it up if they can't agree. This is called a partition. The home is, in this case, in Milton, and this is very normal, okay? And so you put this in. This part with the temporary relief is sometimes in there and sometimes not, but not a big deal. It just means everything we asked for, ultimately at the end of this, we really want it while this is going on too. All right, so there you go. This is what the back of it's going to look like, and there's your petition for dissolution of marriage. You will see that most of these things are exactly the same They have different fonts, different styles, but they say the same stuff. Okay, so when we say, don't panic, this is normal, this is standard, you want to believe us because we see these all the time and they're almost always identical. Ours say something very similar. They're every once in a while you'll have a little bit of a different provision, but don't panic. These statements about asking for fees and asking for support, this one didn't have an alimony request, but it could just say, you know, wife or husband is well able to pay all sorts of types of alimony, and you're like, what? I don't have any money to pay alimony. He knows that. Of course he knows that, or she knows that, but the attorney has to make their pleading in a way that allows them to obtain any particular result that might be just and fair by the time the process is over. I hope this answered some questions for you on the petition and the summons and the documents you might receive. If you get served, don't panic. We have a lot of days to respond to this, and the answer is very simple. I'll do that in the next video, and you'll see how easy it is to get that answer out on time. That doesn't mean wait to come see us, but it does mean that there's no real panic. Okay. All right. I hope this helps, and have a good one.